your brain doesn't work good.
No. My
If
brain
your
works
brain
fine.
works
It's
better,
just
no, you just said that your brain didn't work good.
yeah. I
You
said my
literally
brain doesn't work
just
good with
said,
structured
right,
environments.
my brain doesn't work good.
With
Look, if
structured environments.
you take everybody's quotes out of context, then I can take your quotes out of context too.
Whose
Your
quote
brain
did I
doesn't work
take
good.
out of
Boom.
context?
Not necessarily yours, just people in general. I've been reading some pretty messed up quotes because people have been taking them out of context lately.
I mean,
Mostly
some of them are funny, but
so sure, but if you can't read all the words in the proper order, then you're me playing a game of Magic,
yeah.
and that's just not the way to be.
Like, no. This is exactly how it works. I
I'm
can
pretty
barely
sure-
read.
I'm fairly confident that it just does whatever I want it to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, Mr. Pro Tour Magic the Gathering player. I'm pretty sure this card just says you lose the video game. But we're not playing a video game. Shut up, video game. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday to Brew. I'm Samus. He's Travis. Say hello,
Yo.
Travis. I didn't say yo. I said say hello.
Yo.
This week's episode, what would you do for a bump, bump, bump? We can't.
Copyright infringement.
You know what's going on. And subtitles startled away because an OK Magic card. I've got a story.
Oh, I've got a better one.
Good. I bet you do. But let's do troll cards of the week. I want to do invasive surgery. Travis has the word unexpected. Is that a Magic card?
Yeah, I just didn't want to type in the second word.
Okay. What's this? Am I supposed to guess? Oh, nope. I'm going to type in the unexpected. We have two. We have unexpected results and unexpectedly absent.
Well, considering I don't know what that second one is, I feel it's safe we go with the first one.
Unexpected results.
Yep.
Shuffle your library and then reveal the top card. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying mana cost. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield and return unexpected results to its owner's hand.
Yep.
This seems like a terrible Magic card.
Oh, it is, but it's so much fun. I'm going to be playing it this week for Modern. And
in what?
For Modern.
I didn't catch it. In Modern? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while I was playtesting it, I realized how much fun it is with Emrakul.
Okay, so what? Your deck's like unexpected results, lands, and Emrakul?
It's unexpected results, land, Emrakul, prime.
Ooh,
or
polymorph.
Sylvan. Nope.
Polymorph in the land that makes the token when it comes into play?
No. Sylvan Primordial, Acidic Slime, Ulamog. Basically anything that, destroys their lands, I have it in the deck. So that way it slows them down until I get what I want.
Yeah, I like my version better.
Well, you can build your version and be wrong.
Polymorph lands, fetch lands to go and get the Dryad Arbiter. Polymorph. This would make a sweet polymorph deck, bro.
Well, then do it.
You do it.
No.
This is
I'm doing it
up
unexpected.
your alley. This is up your alley. Polymorph, unexpected results, same card.
I don't like alleys.
You don't like alleys?
No.
Why don't you like alleys? They're dark. Bad things can happen in the alleys.
Nope. Every woman I know that's named Allie has been a complete. Hey, what's your card?
My card is invasive surgery, and it's my troll card this week because it dominated the draft for me this week. Surprise, surprise! Like we did a Shadows over Innistrad draft, and I kind of picked this up late. I was like, whatever. I was deep blue with this card. I almost in every single game. and I almost got to the point towards the end. I was like, maybe I should just leave it in. It was so good.
And that's what she said.
Oh man, it was insane. So one match, I was dominating easily, and my opponent cast the spell that make a 4/4 flyer. Well, I was playing a mill deck, so they had Delirium, and I got crushed by a 4/4 flyer. And I was like, oh, okay. So I brought in the invasive surgery, and for 1 blue, they don't expect it, right? Like, I don't know if this thing could be good in other formats other than limited. Like, it feels like it can be for really powerful sorceries, but I don't know what really powerful sorceries there are in other formats that don't involve can't be countered. Can you think of something, or you're like way down in the lower corner of the screen like a ninja?
I was sitting.
Why were you sitting? You have a standing desk. Stand at your desk, fool.
Yeah, something about my
Exercise.
knee hurts.
Wah. So what sorceries does this thing counter in other formats, like in Standard? Is there a sorcery that's played in Standard?
Yeah. Well, at least in one deck, green-red ramp. Invasive surgery
like
just shuts it down.
The game 7 one. And of course, I guess explosive vegetation also, right?
Ruin in the Wake, explosive vegetation, Nissa's Pilgrimage. It just turns off the whole deck.
Yeah, the black deck, I guess, currently has the tutor that gets back gives you back 3 mana. So I suppose there's a few things. What about like modern? Is there anything in modern that's a sorcery that you can think of that this would be good for? Again, it's a single blue mana to counter a sorcery. Like, and if you have Delirium, which sometimes is a thing, not always, but sometimes.
Honestly, I think
you get to go cranial extract the things.
I think in modern, that's kind of less of a threat or less of a good answer, because with the exception of
like Tooth and Nail,
Burn and Tooth and Nail, and even half of Burn is instant speed, but
right.
I mean, negate the spell.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Is there a sorcery that's worth playing in some of these other formats? Like, I can't think of anything. Doesn't mean there's not. This thing being able to go and cranially extract your opponent is pretty crazy.
Right.
I don't know. It might just be a good sideboard card, but it was not nutters for me in the draft this last week. I don't know. So let me talk about my draft deck, because I have it sitting here in front of me, and I want to talk about it and see if you would have did the same thing. So I opened double rare double mythic in the pick one, pack one.
Okay.
I think I had the Red Angel, like the 4/9 haste, take double damage or whatever.
Yeah.
I had that, and I had Startled Awake.
Okay.
So I already revealed to the table the Startle Awake, and I could either pass Startle Awake to Joe, Joe of the email bag for the last couple of weeks and again this week, or I could pass him the Red Angel. And I thought, well, you know what? Startle Awake is basically nuts. I'll take the Startle Awake and see what happens. I expect to fully be cut from blue by taking Startle Awake. We'll see what happens. I think my next pick was like a Fiery Temper. And then I got a foil Fleeting Memories, which is probably my favorite Magic card to come out of this set.
Your draft pod was just filled with idiots. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Well, what's killer is the person that was on my right was also mono blue. I don't know what his pick order was, but the fact that I got the Fleeting Memories after I showed everybody that I got the Startled Awake, pick one, pack one, like I don't understand what people were thinking. So the rest of the pack kind of went fine or whatever.
Did you go blue-green clue?
Well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Like
Okay.
I was bouncing around. I picked a couple of like red dual lands and a couple other red cards here or there. I didn't want to solidify Joe into red. Like I was 99% sure I did by passing him the red mythic angel. But I didn't want to like promise that or whatever. So I had a little bit of blue pick, or mostly blue, a little bit of red, one or two green cards or whatever. And then pack two, pick one. I opened this card.
Get out.
Cameo's Journal. And I went, oh, okay, I have a plan. And I proceeded to take basically every card that says make a clue, like Jace's Scrutiny and Confront the Unknown.
Yep.
And I proceeded to basically say, this is my deck now. I picked up a couple ongoing investigations. I managed to pick up a magnifying glass relatively late that pack, I believe. And I think Joe passed me pick 2. What we basically considered before I decided that Fleeting Memories was the best pick. Best uncommon. I picked up the pack Guardian. So I'm like, all right, well, this seems good. Like it's all coming together. Then pick 3 pack. I had the choice between foil altered ego and like a bunch of junk. So I took the foil altered ego and basically went to town. I went undefeated, but we did run out of time. The game of the guy that had the Wrath. Like I said, I thought I had him beat, and then he wrathed, and then he was able to win game 1. Game 2, I was able to Tamio's Journal with the enchantment on the field. And I did this several times. Mill 9, tutor up Startle Awake, which is 22.
Yeah, and that's late game, so.
Well, it's not. I mean, Tamio's Journal's turn. So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't bad. I almost wonder if it's not viable to pull this off in Standard.
It is. I did it.
Like
I went 4-1 with a blue deck.
The Tamio's Journal, Startled Awake.
It wasn't Startled Awake. It was Tamio's Journal, Fleeting Memory, Trail of Investigation. Isn't that the other enchantment that when you cast an instant or sorcery, you investigate?
Yes.
That and then
when you sacrifice a clue, you get a 1/1.
No, that's the green one. This was blue-white.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing blue-white, but it's completely viable in Standard.
I think it's great. Like, I think that there's probably enough stuff in there. I might actually try putting it together.
You want my list?
I mean, you can send it to me, but I think mine will probably be like blue-green and taking advantage of things like Tireless Tracker and
cards that require money.
Right, the Altered Ego. I mean, these are things that I just have lots of from drafting. So, Altered Ego, start like 1 or 2 Startle Awakes, a couple Tamio's Journals, and we'll see what happens from there. But I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how it works in a Standard environment where everything's just full of fast creatures all the time. But I think you can get away with like the blue spell that says return all things at toughness equal less.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was playing it, I had blue-white control, and I used the white for expose evil. Huh?
I was going to say, I think it's Descent of the Angels, but maybe that's not it. The Exiling Wrath?
Yeah, Descent upon the Sinful. Oh, that's what I used the white for, was those 2 spells.
Okay.
And Expose Evil and Send to Sleep both tap 2 creatures. Expose Evil investigates.
Oh, I like that.
Spell Mastery with Send to Sleep makes them not on tap. So basically I would have 8 tap 2 different creature spells. Then Engulf the Shore and Descend upon the Sinful. and then everything else was make a clue token or mill. But having Cameo's journal on the field with fleeting memories, and then fetching up another fleeting memories, and then the next turn activating Cameo's journal again is just stupid.
Yeah, if you can
Hold on a
activate journal every turn, is great.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Pack 1, like pick 3 or 4 or something, or 5. Somewhere down the line, I got the double all the tokens.
Yay, seasons passed. Or
I never used it. I had it in my hand once, and it was just overkill, so I never cast it.
Whoa, hold on. I'm gonna go back to my old barbarian roots. There is no such kill as overkill.
Okay, so I would have won the game either way, but it was going to slow the game down an extra couple of turns by doing it. So instead, I just won the game.
No,
Give me a
always
right there.
Always gotta go with extra.
No.
Yes.
Sometimes I just like winning the video game.
Board game?
All right. Board game, video game, all the games. I just want to win the game. Always. Always be winning.
Always win, never lose.
So you were going to tell me a story because I thought that I was almost going to do Confront the Unknown as my troll card. And said you had a story. So I want to hear this story about the Confront the Unknown because I think this is a great card in Magic right now. And I really want to make it something happen.
So actually my story was about the subtitle, but I do have a story about Confront the Unknown because
double stories.
Yeah, well, basically every draft that we've done with Shadows over Innistrad, I have taken 3 cards. No matter what I'm drafting, I just take 3 cards either out of spite, out of use, or out of hate drafting.
Okay.
Confront the Unknown is one of those cards. And
Confront the Unknown?
Yes, that is one of the cards that I will always take unless there is something that I absolutely cannot pass up. And the reason being is because there was one draft that we did where the dude, he was doing the blue-green draft, or the blue-green investigate deck.
That's a great deck. And
he had 2 of the graph moles, and then something else that, yeah. And then something else
that was the card that, so Tamio's journal pick was Tamio's journal or graph mole.
Yep.
Like it just, and I was like, oh man, I hope this comes around. Of course it didn't, but like it always feels like those are the 2 cards that are together. It's like the card you need for your combo or the mole to keep you alive to get your combo off.
Yeah.
So Guy had 2 of the moles.
Yep.
And
Confront the Unknown and one of those, it had Trample. One of his cards had Trample. So he just swung in with his team, and I saw the other dude block the smallest creature. And, logically that's the smart decision. But then after blocks were declared and nothing else was happening, before damage, he played 2 Confront the Unknowns on the one dude and just wiped out the opponent. And ever since then, I've tried to pick Confront the Unknown every time just out of fear.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, I killed one guy. I had like 5 or 6 clues out, and I just had 2 of them in my hand and a flyer. The flyer, the 2/1 with prowess.
Yeah.
So I just like gave him plus, like +5, +5, and then the prowess, and then I did it again and gave him like +6, and another prowess trigger. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of damage from what I expect to come through. I mean, that was 14 damage or something.
Yeah, and that's from like a 2-drop and 2 commons.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 and 2. I think it's a blue and 2 mana, but still, it's almost nothing. And it seems very, very good, especially if you can do something where you can make it go. I also have the feeling that there's probably a deck out there. There's probably lots of decks out there. But there's probably a deck out there that could use the ability to pay a green, give something just +1/+1 for the turn, clue to either use as the artifact or just to drop to replace itself. In potentially more longer formats like modern or whatever, older formats, whatever you want to call them. Like, it just seems like a good card to me. Especially it's a slower cantrip. And I think that this is going to start being a thing as people get used to the idea of not every cantrip says draw 2. Some of these cantrips say investigate, and you spend another 2 mana when you're ready to make it happen.
Right.
Especially, like I said, in decks that have like Arcbound Ravengers or other things that basically say, that can take advantage of artifacts.
Now,
ATOGs or tap 2 artifacts to do a point of damage, stuff like that.
Now, quick question, and I was just thinking about this, like right now. Would Pithing Needle shut down Clue Token?
I think so, yeah. Because the clues all say the word clue on them, right?
Yeah.
They say clue, and then they say pay 2 and sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ability because it's got semicolons.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it should shut them down.
Because I don't know the exact wording on Pithing Needle. Like, I don't know.
Sacrifice this artifact, colon. So that says activated ability, draw a card. So yeah, it would shut it down. So that's a danger. That's something to think about in the clue artifact deck that I'll build.
Well, but it says Pithing Needle says as it enters the battlefield, name a card.
That's true. Because it's a card, it may not work.
Yeah, well, because it's not a card, it may not work.
Right. Because the clues are tokens. You may not be able to because it's not a card.
All right.
I have to double check.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
One of the judges screaming at us right now, like, "No, you idiot! You're supposed to be a judge. You're supposed to know these things."
I'm not a judge. I'm a troll. I do what I want.
Well, I'm both, but a lot of times when you get these answers, you're going to look them up anyway. So there's no reason to save room in your brain for some of these answers. You can just they'd be like, "Oh, what's the answer to this question?" Then you look it up, and then they go, "Oh, I don't think that's right." Like, well, would you like to see the phone where I looked up the answer? Because if not, you can call the head judge. It's not going to hurt my feelings any.
Right.
Which happened several times at the PBDQ a couple of weeks ago. People were like, "I don't think that's right." I'm like, "Please call the head judge. Please. I've answered this question twice today. I look forward to the fact that the judge walks over here and says, 'No, Sam is right. Shut the hell up. Continue your game of Magic.'" Like, right. I want this to happen. Like, okay. No, seriously, I answer this question a bunch.
So,
tell me your other story real quick.
That's what I was about to do.
Would you just do it already?
No, I'm going to take my time now since you raised your voice at me. I don't respond well to negativity.
Oh, poor you, baby.
I'm so sad. Actually, I do respond. Huh?
Your beard's getting too long?
Yeah, that's why.
There's some more negativity. How about that? Oh, you want me to highlight you so everyone can see you brush your beard? Here you go.
I don't give a shit. So we'll start on the week. I was playing against our judge who, oh man, he gets so salty so quick. And
all right, so the hunter of your area.
Yeah, except worse sometimes. Like, it's bad and it's great. So he was playing Naya Planeswalkers, which that's a really solid deck, and I really enjoy playing against it. And the first game, I milled him out without him seeing Narset. And then the second game, he just overran me because I didn't get any of my mill conditions, and I had a port town, which slowed down my engulf the shore, which is why I only run 3 in the deck. But then game 3, I played Narset and I bumped her up, and then he tried killing it, but in response I tapped his creatures down with Send to Sleep.
Right.
And then on my next turn, I was like, all right, I'm going to -2 Narset. And he goes, all right. And I go, I cast Startled Awake. And he just looks at me, and he looks at it, and he goes, that's effing garbage. And so I proceeded to mill him 13. I passed my turn. His next turn, he draws a card, and he goes to attack me, and I Send to Sleep his creatures again.
Right.
And then on my turn, I cast Startled Awake for free, which, oh my god, that feels so good. And he was like, this is such effing BS. Like how I censored myself.
I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he was like, this is such effing BS. You're not even doing anything, and you're winning. I have no way to answer your threats.
My threats? You mean my ability to get rid of your threats? Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
Exactly. And he was just getting so salty. And then after he searched his library for the last time, he was like, well, I guess I'll play Evolving Wilds and crack it. And I was like, all right. So you
How many cards do you have left?
crack
13?
your Evolving Wilds. He goes, and then he does something. I'm like, okay, engulf the shore, put everything back in your hand. This is late in the game, probably like turn 8 or 9. And he goes, all right, well, I guess I'll just play my stuff and pass turn. So I draw my card. I pop up Jace. The new Jace, the 5-mana one, amazing in this deck because Sphinx's tutelage. And then I was like, how many cards are left in your deck? He goes, I have, so he counts, he's like 12. I was like, do you have Startled Awake? I go, yeah, I do. He goes, just show it. And I showed him Startled Awake. He's like, good. He scoops up his deck, and he's like pouting for the rest of the night. Then I just ended up dropping because I wanted to play Commander, and I knew that would make him even more mad.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, anyway, I want to throw this out. So I was playing against Joe this week, and he crushed me. He had double mythic rare angels, the double mythic red ones.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, so he crushed me game 1, no problem.
The 4/4 and the 4/9?
Yeah, he had both of them. I passed him the one, and he scooped up the other one as it came around. And I'm like, all right, no problem, whatever. We'll see what happens. You probably beat me, whatever. So I'm sitting there watching how much mana he's got, right? I'm like, okay. And I've got my Startled Awake in my hand, and I'm just waiting. I'm like, you know what? Now we're going to hit him. He's like, what? So I Startle Awake, and he starts flipping cards. And, like, somewhere in the middle, he'll hit one, and then the 12th card or the 13th card is the other one. Like 2 games in a row. And he's like, there's just no way to win now. And I'm like, yes. Victory is mine. The card was sweet. The only reason I drew that first match was time. If I would have had one more turn, I would have milled my opponent out. So I needed 2 turns. I needed a turn, and they needed a turn. Forced them to draw.
Right.
Excuse me. Jeez.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I don't know. I really love it in. I really love it right now in limited. So I want to do something new here. I want to do a Noobs 101, like a basic how-to Magic. And I bring it up because a friend of mine, a writer friend, if you'd like to check out her books, she's got several, I believe at marshelarockwell.com, I think is her website. But she is spending some time this week, whatever, this summer, learning to play Magic with her son, who's like 12 or 13-ish, give or take, I believe, if I remember correctly. And like, I just feel like she put a picture up, and I'm going to show this picture for a quick second here. Somebody freak out on me while I make Google do its thing. So when I look at this picture, Travis, I see two 2/2 zombies tapped, potentially attacking, but at least tapped. That's that big 5/5 flyer, right? And then I see a 1/1 token for what looks like another 1/1 token. There's something tapped. It looks like the life gain ally person, or perhaps the 1/3 that taps to gain a life, and then some other ground-based thing over there. So I don't understand. She later said that she lost this game, and I'm not exactly sure what happened because I can't tell how many cards he's got in his hand, but it doesn't look like very many. I see a card over here. There's one card face down, potentially some more cards in his hand. She's got one card face down. But how do you have a 5/5 flyer against a board that doesn't look like it's got any flyers and lose? It's pretty difficult. So I wanted to kind of do some for the noobs, and I get it. You're having fun with your kid. You're not necessarily trying to beat your kid. That's not how I play Magic. I play Magic to beat my son every time I play with my son. This way he can improve. It doesn't do anybody any good to let people win when you're playing for fun or whatever for practice.
See, and if you weren't talking about Magic, CPS would be all over you.
So I want to do a couple of noobs 101. First things first. She said that she wasn't real sure that they had all the rules down, which is fair. You're never going to have all the rules down. That's why you have people like judges and resources to look things up on like gather.wizards.com or whatever. However, I've said this before and I want to say it again. If you're Magic, there is a game, I think it's called what is it? Battle of the Planeswalkers? Is that what it is on the I know it's on the Google Play. Duels of the Planeswalkers. Basically, it sits down in using like Xbox or your tablet or your phone even. You can sit there and play Magic. It's a relatively limited environment, but the rules are all scripted together in such a way that they explain things as they go along. It's one of the best learning aids for new players, in my opinion, and I highly recommend it specifically to new players for that reason. And I know there's a big audience specifically for Duels of the Planeswalkers. I'm not sure how big, but I know it's big enough that some of the major sites are actually making videos specifically for Duels of the Planeswalkers using the card pool that's available through that system. Because I know it's not a full thing. I don't know what you want to call it. That bird is driving me nuts.
Tweet.
I realize you can't do anything about it except pull out your Glock and start shooting out your window. But I don't think you live in Chicago, so the odds are low that you have those things. But
a Glock?
Yeah, you have a Glock?
Sure, whatever.
Yeah. Oh.
I could close the door or the window.
I mean, if you ever crawl through a window, it's also a door, I guess. But thank you, so much better.
Tweet.
Now you're just trying to get me.
Tweet.
What was I saying? Anyway, I think it's one of the really good tools. The other thing you should do, right, is go to your local card shop and ask them for the. Travis, do you remember?
I completely
They're
lost
like a little
free what you just said.
I think the little intro pack deck things, I think they're free. They're like 30 cards or something, and they're pre-packaged up. Most of the local card shops will just give them to you for free.
Well, they're supposed to.
They are supposed to. It doesn't mean that they will do. But they're all standard legal cards. And that's where we found the rule where even if there's a card printed inside these packs, they're free, or they're not free. They're
considered standard legal.
They're standard legal. This is another thing, another printing that basically says it's standard legal. The idea is that you could get two of them and then shuffle them together, and you could play your friend in Magic. Most likely, I don't know. Anyhow, go get those. Those are relatively well balanced against each other, and you can start from there when you're playing Magic. Let's see, what's some other like quick like for the noobs that we can do?
Just play.
Flying creatures can only be blocked by other flying creatures or creatures with reach. That's where you have like that big 5/5 flyer. Should have just dominated that board from the rest of the game.
Yeah, because that's at least 4 turns. Like
right.
four turn minimum.
Right, attacking each turn with your 5/5 flyer. Even if they were at the starting 20 life, it should kill them pretty fast. Let's see, what else? Cards in hand are more important than life total, generally, except for the last one.
Right.
That's usually something most people don't figure out until much later in the game. Having options are worth taking it. You can double block or triple block or gang block, whatever you need to do. That's often something that people miss, even experienced players. That came up, I think, this last week, actually. Someone attacked me with like a big 6/6 trample monster, and I threw a bunch of blockers into it and then had them select the order, and then I pumped like okay, so I had a bunch of guys with like 1 toughness, and then I had like the 1/5 the flyer, and then I had them assign their blocking order or damage dealing order. So that's okay. So let's just go through that real fast, because not everyone's necessarily going to know this. So you declare your attack step. Both players have an opportunity to respond. You declare your attackers. Both players have an opportunity to respond. You declare your blockers. Then the very next thing that happens is they assign how the damage is going to, what order the creatures are going to take damage in. So 9 times out of 10, this doesn't matter, because you're just going to block one creature with one creature, and who cares? But if you block with multiple creatures, say like Travis is attacking me with a 3/3, and I have a 1/1 and a 2/2, Travis can decide which order he wants them to take their damage. If you want the 2/2 to take damage before the 1/1, or vice versa. And then both players get an opportunity to respond, and then damage happens. Okay? So basically the scenario went, there was enough damage to kill my blockers, but depending on how the order was assigned, I could use my pump spell in my hand to give +1/+1 to save my 1/5, where or my whatever it was. I could save multiple creatures using this pump spell. So the order is often important, especially if there's a combat trick that you can play to kind of make things happen. So that's something else that's important. But what's important is that even if your creatures were die, all of their damage gets totaled up onto the one creature. So in a scenario where there's like a 6/6 attacking, and as long as I can take enough creatures together to make 6 damage, and there's no combat trick involved, I will trade several of my creatures to kill off their big creature. And that often is advantageous as well, to kill their one big thing, to trade a lot of your little things, unless you're going to like pump and kill them the next turn. I don't know, Travis, give us one more noob hint, and we'll move on to like the mailbag.
I don't really know any hints. It's just know the order of the turns.
Okay, so like
untap,
upkeep,
draw,
first main phase,
combat, second main phase, end of turn triggers.
Right.
Like
And then
it's
cleanup.
yeah. And
Okay.
and those are all highly important to know the order in, because most people, a lot of new people don't understand that you can do things after you do combat. So I see people playing things, you know, in their main phase when they don't have to, so that way the opponent knows that they don't have any sort of battle tricks or combat
Hey,
tricks or whatever.
I was going to say, why is that important? You hit it. As long as there's unknowns in your hand, then it puts for players who are thinking there and are there, they have to think through what kind of possible cards are that you could play if in combat that could affect the combat based off of what you do. So then you still have the same options, but they don't know what your options are. And it's forcing them to play at a higher level. And therefore, then when their second turn runs around, then you can take that opportunity to play your creatures and be done. Some creatures you want to play before combat, some creatures after combat. You have to look and see. So if there's things with like come into play triggers, it could be a factor, or it's an artifact and you have a creature that, you know, says all they get +1/+1 for each artifact or something. There's a lot of reasons to play a creature before combat. There's a lot of reasons to play a creature after combat. You just need to look and kind of see what's the most advantageous. Sequencing is everything in Magic. Sequencing and trying to figure out what your opponent's up to. Anna, do you want to jump to this mail? These new Eldritch Moon spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we have to talk about at least some of the Eldritch Moon spoilers.
I mean, we have to talk about at least two of them.
Dragon.
Oh. No, I was talking about the other things.
Mirrorwing Dragon.
No. Harmless Offering.
That's not a Mirrorwing Dragon.
I think we should talk about Harmless Offering because, number one, it has a cat on it. And number two, number two, you can give them a demonic pact with no abilities left.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things with it. I don't think it's that great. So, a red and 2 for sorcery, right? Red and 2 for sorcery. Target opponent gains control of target permanent you control. So, yes, you can do a lot of stuff with this card. You can, like you said, you can potentially give them a demonic pact that's only got one option left and kill them. That is a thing that could happen.
You can give them a Mind Rack Demon with no cards in their graveyard, and then they slowly, we both just lose the game as quick as possible. You can give them Priest of the Bloodright, so they get the -2/-2 or the 2 life loss every upkeep.
2 life every upkeep.
Or you can give them Triskaidekaphobia and let them choose how they're gonna die.
Well, they just always say every player gains a life, right?
Yeah, not when I have Tainted Remedy on the field.
Okay. Magical Christmas Land in full effect for Travis. Okay, I get your point. There's a couple of combos. There's a couple of combos in standard. I
hope that there's going to be some really fun ones too, like some new things that come out of this set that are like, oh, you can't attack during your turn, and you just give that to.
That would be better. Like if you can get to enough useful things, I would be interested in seeing what it's like. But let's hit some of the ones here. Like, what was the other one you wanted to talk about for sure?
Tree of Perdition.
Okay, that one I actually think is pretty good.
The 4-drop.
I'm trying to find the exact wording here. Do you
have
it up?
No, but I memorized it.
Okay, let's hear it rattled off in a useful manner.
Okay, so it costs 3 and a black. It's a defender, 0/13. You tap it.
Plant.
It's a tree, so of course it's a plant.
Plant.
Yeah, but it's a defender.
It is a defender.
So you tap it, and target opponent's life total becomes the toughness of Tree of Perdition.
Right. Which
So
is 13.
yes. And that card's either going to be really awesome in Modern or in Standard.
Well, I think it's going to be quite good in Standard right away, because butt fight, or not butt fight, I mean butt fight too, but assault formation is still legal.
Yep.
For a little bit at least, and that makes this thing into a 13/13 monster.
Yeah, it's going to be legal at least until the next block.
Right. And there's a lot of really good walls right now, so the assault formation deck could make a comeback in a big bad way.
Saying that like it left.
But also, like, this thing is just really solid, I think. I think you have a lot of ways that you could actually lower the defense or its toughness in other formats, at least temporarily.
Yeah, like dismember it twice, put them down to 3 life, and then lightning bolt them.
Right. You could also, the blue one, the blue spell, target creature's toughness makes it like a 1/1.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I guess. Well, but doesn't that also make it lose its ability?
I think there's one that just makes it like a 1/1 or a 0/1, but it keeps its ability. I'd have to look it up. But there are ways that you could lower it. You could also put like -1/-1 counters on this. I think you can get a lot of action out of this card. I think it's very good. Also, it blocks for days.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this thing had reach, I think that's what's missing from this card. Like to me, this should just be a rare. If this thing had reach, I could definitely understand its mythic rating.
Well, it's got a mythic rating because it's basically just the bastardization of a Tree of Redemption.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it just feels like to me that it needs just a little bit more for it to be a mythic.
Why? Tree of Redemption wasn't?
Tree of Redemption wasn't a mythic?
No, it is a mythic. So why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I mean,
look up this card. Called Tree of something.
Yeah, Redemption. It's basically the exact opposite of this.
So, exchange your life total with the Tree of Redemption's toughness, and
it's a
mythic. Yeah,
it's a 4-mana defender 0/13.
I don't think this card should be a mythic either.
But they both have the ability to gain life up to 13.
Kind of. Like they reset life totals, which
right. But if your life is less than that, then it's life gain.
Correct.
So that's why Tainted Remedy is amazing.
I guess.
Oh, you're at 6 life. Tree of Perdition's on the field and Tainted Remedy. All right, go ahead and gain 7. Oh, just kidding. You're dead.
I would have to check the ruling on that one.
Magical Christmas Land. It works.
Ability resolves. Tree of Redemption's toughness will become your former life total, and you will gain or lose an amount of life necessary, so your life total equals that. All right. Well, I guess all those things work.
Guess Magical Christmas Land is accurate. You're welcome.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. That seems weird.
Well, the only reason I know that
specifically says exchange your life total.
Right. But
and I know that it's considered life gain most of the time, but
Well, the only reason I know that is because Resolute Archangel is the exact same thing. Your life total becomes your starting life total.
Oh, that's true.
So, I mean, you're either going to gain up to that or lose down to that.
So what do you think about Murder being back?
Meh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said too.
Better than Ride Down.
I like Ride Down though.
They wasted a rare spot for it.
Did they make it a rare?
Yeah.
It's not a rare.
Pretty sure it might be.
Yeah, Ride Down's an uncommon. At least according to MTG Salvation. That's an uncommon. Homie.
Well, then they downgraded it from the last time.
It wasn't uncommon time too.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Am I going to have to prove you wrong now?
Yep.
All right, let's look. Hey, come on, Gatherer. Stop being a bad. Yep, uncommon. It's always been an uncommon.
Kind of wasted an uncommon slot.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess if you're playing red, white Eldrazi and they block an Ulamog and you're like, no, fuck off. I mean, I didn't say that.
Language.
That was your fault.
I just think that Ride Down has a lot of interesting potential. Destroy target blocking creature. Boom. Creature that were blocked by this creature gain trampled on the turn.
Oh, man, I just thought of what would make that good. Wait, no. Hold on.
If they were to block with the spider that blocks a whole bunch of things. I don't know. Anyway, I think Ride Down's a good card. Let's see. What else do we need to check? Mercurial Geist? Geist? As plural Geist? More than one, right? Mercurial
Geist. Because wizards hate people with lists.
Basically. So a red, a blue, and 2 for a 1/3 spirit with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gains +3/+0 till end of turn. So that gives us now 3 creatures with this effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
That gives.
Yep, because there's Kiln Fiend and Nivik Cyclops.
Right, and there's a flyer one, right? There's a flyer that has this ability.
No.
Is this the first flyer that has this ability?
Yes.
So I have a feeling this guy is going to be seeing some play in extended or modern. At least as like a 2-of. Like it's a way to have an evasion creature. I don't know. I think that's okay.
You know what I think is okay?
Hit me with
Mourn Willow.
Mourn Willow?
Yes. It costs a colorless black and green. It's a 3/2 with haste. If you have Delirium, creatures with power 2 or less can't block this turn.
Oh, that's all right.
And then also...
do we have Devils that has this ability? What should we call this ability? This ability needs a name.
What ability?
Like prowess, but only front-loaded. When you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +X/+O till the turn.
Yeah. I just always called it +3/0.
+3/0, so...
Yeah, +30.
Anyway, keep going. I feel like there's a flyer that has this ability, and I wanted to check. Yeah, we Dragonauts. It's +2/+0 instead of +3/+0. My bad. Sorry.
Told you.
My bad. Do we Dragonauts get played in that deck, in the Kill Fiend deck?
No.
Too slow?
Nope. Well, it was too slow, but also if you're spending the 3 mana, then you want the 1/4 because that at least has the ability to take some damage.
Dodge lightning bolts. All right. What do we think of this Crypt Breaker?
Hold on. Let me go see that
So
again.
it's a black for a 1/1 zombie with the ability that says a black and tap, discard a card, make a 2/2 black zombie token creature. Does not come into play tapped, which is different from most of the zombie making cards that we've had in this set. And it has the ability that says tap 3 untapped zombies, draw a card, and lose a life. I think this guy is pretty great.
I think he's going to be really well with all the different madness enablers or the madness cards.
I think the madness cards, I think just various good zombies right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, okay, so let's say you get him out on turn 1. Turn 2, you play a different zombie or whatever. Then, like, turn 3, you activate his ability and discard a fiery timber.
Okay.
Then you have 3 zombies, plus you just did a lightning bolt to them.
So zombies in standard that are good. Fleshbag Marauder.
That's all right.
We have that for a little bit longer. Nantuku Husk.
Garbage.
Is a pretty good zombie. Oh, that guy's great.
Horrible. It's never been good in any deck.
Prized Amalgam. How do you
Amalgam.
say that? Amalgam.
Yep.
That guy seems okay. Relentless Dead. That's a solid zombie.
Well,
we still have this zombie. It's never done anything.
It's never done anything. I'm kind of upset by the fact that it's never done anything, but it's still like a $6 card. Everyone's just like, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Trust us.
I think it's got the piece that it needs now with this 1-drop zombie. Risen Executioner, obviously zombie.
I love it. Another $5 card that hasn't done anything.
Let's see, Shambling Goblin, Sidisi, Undead Advisor or Undead Visor,
Vizier,
Brazier, Booby Holder. I guess there's also Walking Corpse from the welcome deck. That's what they're called, welcome decks. So if you just want like a generic 2/2 for 2, you have that guy.
Zombie Bear.
Basically, that's what it could have been called. So I mean,
That's
you got
what
a couple.
They should have called it.
Like, I don't know how many more zombies are in Eldritch Moon, but you're close.
Gissa and Giralf are in it. Did you see those?
The new what?
Gissa and Giralf. They showed up together. Hold on, let me go back to it.
I'm looking.
It's a 4-drop, 2 blue and black. It's 4/4. Oh wait, it's a human. Never mind. Well, no. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie from your graveyard.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But then, they gave us the Black Oath. Remember how I was just like irritated by the fact that there wasn't a Black Oath?
Yes.
And now there is one, and even the flavor text on it is just great. Because
well, Nissa's here to save everybody, right? Or not Nissa, sorry. Lily?
Yeah.
Should we get to the in the room? What do we think of this?
But I love how the flavor text on it was.
All right, well, let's look at that first before we get crazy. I'm just gonna pull up if it'll actually pull up. It's not pulling up for me the way I want it to. Here we go.
But yeah, the flavor text on it is she just seems like such a she's doing it out of spite for everyone. It's just kind of like, I'll keep watch. You happy now? Love you.
So Lily. Black and 2. When Oath of Liliana enters the battlefield, opponent sacrifices a creature. It's not receptacle, just at the beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker into the battlefield, get a 2/2 black zombie token creature.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's probably one of the better oaths, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it actually kills a creature. Yeah, they get a pick. Blah blah blah. Same crap as always. The sorcery speed, sacrifice effect, whatever. But sometimes it's all you need. Like this could easily be a 4 of in a lot of decks, I think, and no one will lose any sleep over it. Let's talk about Lily. Like a lot of people are hating on her. I'm not sure where I feel. I feel like it's probably okay. Like so for 3 mana, a black, and 1. Whoop, shaking the camera. Apologies. You get a 3 mana planeswalker. Her +1 ability says up to 1 target creature gets -2, -1 till your next turn. She has a -2 ability that says put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So, card
Potential
out of your
card
graveyard.
advantage, yeah.
And then you have a -7 that says you get an emblem. At the beginning of your end step, put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Well, X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. So it always makes 2, and then it can make 3 and 4 and so on. Or
no, it'll make
sorry,
it'll
it
make
goes up
2.
by 2.
Yeah, it'll make 2, 4, 6.
6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Lily. Yay, Lily.
Well, no, wait, no, that math seems wrong. It'll be,
But it does.
it'll be 2, and then the
Right.
next turn it'll be 2 plus the 2.
Right, which is 4. And then it'll be. Keep going.
No. No, I don't know why my brain just was like, no, that's not right.
I mean, yeah, it all depends also on how many of these exist. But they don't come into play tapped. They're coming into play untapped, which is also very strong.
Right, so you get blockers.
So you get blockers. So let's just break it down. Jace's +1 ability on the flip Jace is target creature gets -2, -0 ton of turn.
Right.
This has the potential to kill a creature.
Well, and if
And
it's,
you may have to do it in combination with blocking or whatever, but
okay,
it can.
So the way I feel about this is it's going to shut down Sylvan Advocate until they get 6 lands.
It's definitely going to help.
Like, it's just going to be like, all right, well, now you have a 0/2 vigilant creature. Come at me, brah.
Right.
But even when Sylvan Advocate's big, if you give it that yeah, then it's just a, it's what a, okay, so it'd be like a 4/5, so it's a, what?
Yeah, it's a 2/4.
Yeah, so even then,
it's not anywhere near as big as the 4/5.
Right, and it's so much easier to kill that way.
And then with Liliana, you're probably already playing a creature deck. To be fair, is that feel fair to you to say, especially with like Kalidas? What's the 2/3 flyer? The angel, the vampire that's amazing.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name right now. That gives, she's got first strike and she gives everybody +1/+1 when she does combat damage to a player.
Right.
I can't think of her name right off the top of my head, but you have those two. Plus, like I said, you have all these zombie cards potentially,
Drana.
right? Yeah, Drana. So you have it's to me it seems fair that you're going to be running a creature-based deck if you're running Liliana, the Last Hope.
Right.
Especially with things like the not neg one, the lose a life when a ally or when a creature dies, and the Husk and Relentless Dead, and the 1/1 that makes zombies by discarding a card. Like, I just feel like you have the potential ability here to just go crazy.
Right.
I feel like she's going to be an amazing card in general. She may not have the standalone power like the other 3 mana Lily, but it still seems very, very strong to me. Just in general. So I don't know. I think she looks good. the artwork is very, very close to being the best artwork I've ever seen on a Lily. Like, I
She's
guess
a
I should
classy broad.
throw it up on the screen real fast, I guess, if it'll let me. Here we go. Uno momento. Yeah, what do I have to do to make this bigger? Can I just, there we go. So she's just like standing here with that come get me pose. She's got the arm like, here, look at what I brought for you. I brought for you the answer to all your problems. Eldrazi, El Smazi. We have an army of dead here. Let's get the same like the White Walker guy has. Like, a lot of people have this as the come at me, bro. But to me, it seems like I brought the party kind of pose. She's got the little smile. The only thing that's weird about this, and one of the reasons, like when this card was spoiled, a lot of people thought this was fake, right? Because there's not the rest of the picture in the background in the text box. But I feel it looks good. She's still breaking the boundary box in the artwork. I don't know. I like this artwork. I said I think the only thing that could have made it better was if her it's not really a hat or a head. What is the thing around her head, Travis? Do you know what the name of that's called? Like her
let me zoom up. Well, it could be a tiara.
Should you call that a tiara?
Well, she's a princess.
She is a princess. All right. Let's say like the majority of the time her tiara is more of a gold color instead of a silver, which I think makes her skin a little bit more like sharply colored. Like she seems very pale to me in this picture. And maybe it could be a
cowl.
Maybe it's a cowl.
Cowl, yeah. C-O-W-L.
I don't know if you would consider that a cowl or not, but I don't know. Anyway, I think she looks good. I'm hoping that she's going to be an interesting Magic card.
10 out of 10
but I hope.
bang.
But 10 out of 10 would bang. I don't know. I think she's going to be great. Effing great. And I want to see good things happen for her, but not until after I get a playset. I hope she's like old Jace and Flip Jace and nobody likes her and she's like $5. And then I'm going to buy a playset right away at $5. Then I hope everyone realizes how good she is and shoots up to like $100.
Cabral is just like her head thing is a veil.
It's a veil?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but we'll go with it.
I mean,
we'll call it
I
can go behind the head, like I don't know. I think
if that's the case. If that's the case, then her name would be Liliana of the Hat.
Liliana the Hat. That's true. That's true. But see, like how it in other pictures, how it gets worn. Like I don't know. It's very strange to me how this is done. Let's see. So can we talk about the Big Daddy card now? For me, at least. The card I think is going to be super sweet.
Hold on. What?
I'm putting it up on the screen.
Oh, you mean the card that they're just like, hey, you know what's a great idea? Let's make Zada completely useless now. And then they did that.
No. This card is great. Why is Zada completely useless?
Because they just gave Zada, they just made it cost one more, gave it flying, made it not legendary, and then made it a 4/5.
For one more mana, I would trade that for one more mana all day, Travis.
Yeah, but like I said, you're just completely making Zada irrelevant.
I don't think so. I mean, that's true. Zada does become relatively irrelevant unless you are playing on Goblin characteristics.
Or playing both of them.
I just like Zada could easily become Mirror Wing Dragon number like 5 through 6.
Number 5 through 8.
I don't know if I'd play all the Zadas and all the Mirror Wing Dragons.
Well, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
4 and 2. I think I'd play 4 and 2 because in the deck that I want this effect,
all they need now is Fling.
The problem is Zadas piled up in your hands, right? Like you'll get 2 Zadas and not another creature. It's like, well, I guess I'll play this Zada and watch it get lightning bolted to death and not get any value. Where this Mirroring Dragon on the plus side, at least it can come down, right? Like it can come down, and if you have 2 Mirroring Dragons and you cast them both, oh well. Like, no harm, no foul. I guess I'll just have these 2 4/5 flying beaters. I don't know. I think this looks. They do live through Languish, but can you imagine like the dragon deck that could go with this thing? Like, so we still have some really, really good dragons in Standard right now. Plus, we have the Dragon Land. So like you could go red, like just in red dragons, right? So you have Thunderbreak Regent, this guy. Technically you have the draw 2 dragon if you wanted to do that. But then you also have, you could easily go black for the Dragon Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could easily go green for the Dragon Lord. Or you could go both, because god damn it, you're green.
Yeah, Jund, let's do this.
Jund dragons. Like, and then you have excellent like pump spells and other things. Like, how great is this in with the couple of creatures confront the unknown? Like, that's insanity, right? I'm waiting for Travis to be like, yeah, that's great. He can't decide how good it is. He's just sitting there quietly. I can't even tell if he's mocking me or not.
Did you see Mind's Dilation?
Have I seen your Mindstillation?
Yep.
No, what is it?
So this card is going to be awesome, or horrible. So it costs 7. It's an enchantment, and whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card of their library.
Oh,
if it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost.
I take it back. I did see that. Mine just okay.
That card is amazing.
It seems very expensive for the effect.
Yeah, but it's blue, so you're going to be playing a control deck anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems okay.
And by that time, you've already ulted Jace. So their first spell is going to get countered, but you get to play something out of their deck, potentially.
Did we talk about this Stitcher's Graft yet?
I don't know. What is it?
It seems really good on the surface. It's a 1-mana equipment. So 1 generic for an artifact equipment. Target or equipped creature gets +3. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Whenever Stitch's Graft becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent, equip 2. Like, that seems great.
So what you're saying is harmless offering that to your opponent.
I don't see how that works. I think it just, like, it's great on, right? For 3 mana, equipped creature gets +3/+3. And if you have the ability to untap your creature, it's great, you know, always. I don't know, I just think this is a solid equipment. You made a bunch of noise. Like, what are you doing?
Lupine Prototype. This is this is going in mono black control.
The 2 mana.
The 2 mana 5/5. It can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in hand. Ridiculous. At least in one deck.
Seems good.
Eldritch Evolution.
Man, I don't know where you keep looking for all these things.
It's an MTG Salvation.
Yeah, but
So,
they're not on this page. That I have to go to their homepage to sort by release spoilers, I guess. Let's see. Let's do a couple more of these, and then let's look at Joe's thing here.
yeah, or we could just ignore him.
Here's one that you put on this was a real card. What are you thinking? Like, what's your first instincts on Deploy the Gatewatch?
I think it's really great. At least if you're playing a Planeswalker deck. Because for 7 mana, isn't that 7? Or is that 6?
6 mana.
6 mana. For 6 mana, you get to look at the top 7 of your library and put 2 Planeswalkers into play, up to 2. So they can't be countered because you put them into play. You don't cast them.
The deploy can be countered, but once the spell is resolved, it cannot be countered. Why is it focusing? There we go.
So that with Call of the Gatewatch and just run one of every Planeswalker in Standard right now, that's going to be fun. Would you run one or would you run a couple of each? No, I just run, well, how many is in Standard right now?
There's a bunch.
In that case, 1.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is okay. I think this is going to be really strong in like blue-white Planeswalker decks right now. Because with just the blue-white, right? You've got Gideon, you've got Jace, you've got Narset, you've got... Is there another one? I feel like there's another one. Here there's not another one. But still, just those 3. I guess you have also like Little Gideon and Little Jace, but they don't count because they don't get hit by this.
Right, they're creatures.
But with just those 3, you could be running 12, right? So 12 of that plus 4 of these. Like now you've only got 5 piles of 4 left to really build your deck from. And then you have things like your bounce spells and your wrath effects.
Well, I figure if you splash in like black, that's adding Sorin, Lily, Ob Nixilis.
Yeah, see, and those like right there, that seems great. Like,
it's got
a fancy name.
Yeah,
Esper.
Yeah,
Esper Walkers could be very, very good.
Right, because that bumps it up to.
And then you can
24 targets.
Yeah, but then you don't run 4 of each of them, right? You probably go down to
always run 4 of each. 4 of each, and then 8 board wipes.
The problem is that you still have to get to, like, your cheapest one is 4 mana, and really doesn't protect yourself. That's true. I forget about Lily.
Yeah.
I forget about Lily. So you have Lily, who kind of protects herself, but not really.
Yeah, we got Lily, and then Gideon, who makes a chump blocker. Ob Nixilis, who kills.
Ability is a creature ability. Like Liliana's main ability, her -2 ability, is a card advantage engine for creatures. So I don't know if you run 4 Lilies in this deck.
Always run 4.
Because it's only Planeswalker?
Yeah.
I think you probably just run
6. Got it.
Of her. Oh, no. All right, let's... If there's anything else that we're missing and you want us to hear our thoughts about it, send us an email, please, just like Joe did, at the number 2trolls@gmail.com. We would love to hear about your thoughts. Oh, Tamio. We have the new Tamio as well.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about her.
Yeah, she's amazing. We'll talk about her next time. So let's look at Joe's deck. A new Turskadirka Furbeer.
Or not, just to spite him.
I mean, I like the idea of talking about decks when people send them in.
I like the idea of spiting Joe because it's funny to me.
All right, fine then. We'll spite him.
All right.
Sorry, Joe. We're not talking about your deck because Travis doesn't love you anymore. Moving on.
Yep.
No, we need to talk about this deck. I think this deck's got some potential. I feel like it does.
Well, he doesn't have Harmless Offering in there.
Oh, it doesn't. Never mind. Moving on.
Yep.
So I'm Samus. You can check out this podcast at samusgrobo.com. I said you could send us an email at the number 2 trollsbrew@gmail.com. You can follow at Twitter. Again, I'm Samus Grobo, all one word, SAMIUSGUROBO, and Travis is Turtle Power, the number's 319. Travis, how do we want to end the show this week? We did not plan on a game.
Let's end the show by going over Joe's deck.
We're not doing it. You've decided we're not playing.
So,
we're not doing it this week.
So he has 4 Insolent Neonates, 4 Tormented Voice, 4 Exquisite Flame, 4 Fiery Temper, 2 Alms of the Blood, a playset of Triskaidekaphobia,
No.
4 Tree of Perdition, 3 Kalitas, 2 Languish, 2 Read the Bones, and 4 Grasp of Darkness.
So I've got some problems with this deck.
Yeah, it needs 2 less Kalitases and 4 more Languishes, and then 1 less Kalitas and 1 more Alms of the Blood.
I don't think that's right. I think some of what you're saying is correct. I think the Kalitases go in the sideboard and the Languishes go up, but I think it needs more Read the Bones.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's probably the most important card.
If you're playing... Well, I mean, I can understand why he doesn't, because he has Tormented Voice and Insolent Neonate as 4-ofs.
Sure. But really, we need to think of those as Fiery Temper activators. And I'm not even necessarily sure that I would be running those either, to be fair. I might be running the Call the Blood line.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they give you more value. I also think that you should be running... What's the fire that it's like 2 damage if you cast it as a sorcery, but if you Manus it, it's a fireball?
Like Avacyn's Judgment.
Avacyn's Judgment. I think Avacyn's Judgment goes in this deck.
At least as a 2-of.
I think it's a 4-of in this deck, and I think Alms of the Blood comes out. Because it's more likely that you can set it straight. It's more likely that you can set an opponent straight to 13 with the Avacyn's. Like, you can fine-tune the damage, right? Between Fiery Temper, Alms of the Blood, you can do this. You can work it out the same way, but I still think the Judgment is stronger. Like, oh, you need to take 4. Here's 5 mana, go to 4. Now die. I'm on my upkeep.
Right, but let's see. His deck has 8, 16, 23 lands. Might be kind of iffy.
Maybe.
Because
I also don't know if you need trees at all, to be honest. Like, I see the reason why the trees are in here.
For comical value.
No, I mean, yes. But I think that they're really good for, like, oh, I'm going to put myself below 13 so you can't kill me with Triskaidekaphobia. And you're like, nah, go back to 13 and then die. Like, I think it's okay. I think you probably have 2 trees, 4 Languish, 4 Read the Bones. I don't know if you need as many Grasp of Darkness, because I think you're going to rely on the Languishes to get the job done. So I think you can just switch those numbers around. 4 Languish, 2 Grasp of Darkness. You cut the Kalitas and you go up to 4 Read the Bones. And I think you can cut the Insolent Neonates just all together and run 2 Call of the Bloodline. And then I'm not sure which the Exquisite Flame is, to be fair.
That's one, if it's Spell Mastery, it can't be countered.
Yeah, I think you cut those for the other one. I think you cut those for the Avacyn's Judgment. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then this deck seems okay to me. Like, then it changed. Like, you go from having Kalitas and Insolent Neonate as your creatures. Therefore, their removal is available and is good. Tree of Perdition, you don't really consider it a creature. Like, it is, but it's so big they have to use like a destroy target creature.
Yeah, who runs Ultimate Price?
Oh, that's true. Ultimate Price. Yeah. I think you're still fine with that, especially if it's a 2 of. And then you just try to be as creatureless as possible. Like maybe you run Omnixilus in this deck.
He is my favorite black planeswalker currently in Standard.
I also really like the idea of splashing mostly off of the man lands and the come into play tap lands. Sorin, mostly because I want to be running some sort of man land in this deck. And otherwise, you're not running any man lands. But like, if you go Mardu with this thing, you could easily run eight man lands, no problem.
Plus, there's that new enchantment in white that also triggers madness.
Yeah. You gain 3 life.
Yep. Pay a white, discard a card, gain 3.
If you're going white, though, you could also get away with running Nahiri.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know if you have them or not, but... So, like, what we're telling you, Joe, is scrap this deck, build...
With the exception of Triskaidekaphobia.
Build a Mardu Planeswalker deck using, like, 1 Tree of Perdition, 1 Trisk... Or, I guess you can have all the Triskaidekaphobia, who cares? Get the new... Call the... What's it called? Activate the Gatewatch. Deploy the Gatewatch so you can get your planeswalkers, run all the man lands, be as slow as humanly possible. That lets you run a million Wraths if you want. You could run 4 Languish. You can also run 4
Planar Outburst.
No, I think you just run Descents, right?
Oh, no. Well, if you're running a million...
Exile the creatures, because you're just running 2 Trees of Perdition. I'm glad I'm talking right now so people don't have to see what you're doing on the screen.
Look, everybody, I'm putting on deodorant.
Oh, no! No! Stop!
Look, I don't like smelling like a garbage can, and I think our fans should know that.
You're not doing it right then. I smell like a garbage can all the time. I don't have a sense of smell either, though, so it's hard to judge.
Well, I mean, you don't smell like a garbage can, so we appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, buddy. That's what I try to shower every day.
Although you don't have the ability to smell yourself, I'm glad that you make it so nobody else also has that ability.
I do my best. I try. I try real hard. My wife often tells me that I smell like a man, though. It's like, oh, you smell like a man. Like, well, thankfully, I'm a man. I don't know. I think there's a solid thing in here. I think the idea of Triskaidekaphobia in some number as a potential win condition.
4.
Again, the appropriate number, but I think if you're going to do this, you want to take advantage of those cheap madness cards with something like Call of the Bloodline. I just feel like those things together is where the deck is at.
You know what you could also do? Put a 1 of under the floorboards in there.
A 1 of a what?
Under the floorboards. From under the floorboards.
Is that the one that makes all the...
Like, if you cast it from your hand, you gain 3 life and get 3 zombies. But if you madness cast it, you get X zombies and gain X life.
Yeah, sounds good. Like, maybe even you run a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think there's probably enough good madness stuff out there that you want to play a control deck where you're playing a land every turn and you're using board wipes to keep advantage. Then you have like these really powerful effects where you can just like, whoops, catch up and win the game.
I think they should have made Olivia a planeswalker and had her ultimate be all of your spells have madness.
Maybe. I don't know. You could also, is it Olivia that's the vampire that
Yeah.
gives creatures like haste?
Mm-hmm.
Does she trigger herself, or does she already have haste?
I don't know.
I feel like she already has haste. Maybe she's got flying. I don't know.
She has
Let's say
flying.
you could run that instead. I don't know. I said I think I would rather go creatureless as possible in this deck, and then put all the creatures in the sideboard. So you could just like sideboard out of this craziness, and then just sideboard into like really effective black red creatures.
Yeah, just have your main deck just be the pile of hot garbage that we love, and then sideboard, just bring in 15 creatures and overwhelm them.
Well, he said again, if you have Kalitas, you have Drana, you have like what's a like
Falconwrath
Thunder.
Gorger.
What?
Falconwrath Gorger. Just completely side in all vampires. 15 vampires. Yeah. She's a vampire. Huh?
Is there a vampire lord?
Not yet.
That seems dumb.
Well, at least not in standard.
Seems like there should be a vampire lord.
Well, there is, but it's not in standard.
What's going on? Oh, you got the guy who, when he comes into plays, you can put like +1 counters on vampires, right?
Sure.
That's kind of like a vampire lord. I don't know. I think there's some possibilities in this thing. I think you're potentially onto something, Joseph. I don't know what that thing is yet, but
and I know when I showed up and we had that winner box, he took like first or second with his Triskaidek phobia. So I don't know why he would change it. Yeah, or something like that.
I don't know. It also gives the option of running Galvanic Bombardment. Oh, it doesn't hit a player. Never mind. It's terrible. Don't listen to that.
Do what you want to do, Joe. Troll on.
Troll on, everybody.